Alright, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. This whole Klansman gang story unfolds in a courtroom trial of Blackman and his compatriots. I wasn't following it. So from now on, while we follow and give updates, I will be labeling the videos part 1, part 2, part 3, and so on for those who want to follow. Alright, let me give you an up-to-date as far as my understanding goes, and I want somebody to tell me in the comment section if I am wrong, and then the rest of the story. My understanding so far is that according to law enforcement reports, Tesha Miller was the leader of the Klansman gang. Tesha Miller went to prison or jail or lockup, and Blackman, who is or was second in command, took over. Blackman started running the gang his way, not the way how Tesha would run it when Tesha was out. They thought Tesha was going to be gone for a long time. Tesha bust off the case, came back a road. When Tesha came back, Tesha wanted to take back over his position. The boss is home. Blackman said no. Blackman does not want to relinquish power, so the gang split. When the gang split, a couple of men went with Blackman, some stayed under Tesha's command, so then we had two factions now of the Klansman gang, and that is why we see what we see today. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comment section, and remember please that I don't have any inside information. I am following the story and compiling all the information as they come out, so you can just get everything from one place as opposed to going to many different outlets and resources. Alright, today now, the witness who is speaking is talking a lot. Now the witness gives more information on Blackman's deadly style of operation. Here are the details. So, this witness says, alleged leader of the St. Catherine-based Klansman gang, Andre Blackman Bryan, had a scheme of diverting attention from the criminal organization for shootings done in the Shelter Rock community in Spanish Town in pursuit of an individual who was to testify against him. An ex-gang member turned state informant testified yesterday. As you know, Blackman is in custody and he is facing trial, and there lies a state witness who is a ex-gang member, self-professed high-ranking lieutenant of the gang, who has decided to turn state's evidence and start testifying against him. So what is happening now is everything that comes out of his mouth is being looked at as factual by a lot of people. I have my say on that, but let's get into the details. Witness number 1, a self-confessed high-ranking lieutenant in the gang, made the claim yesterday during 6 of his testimony before Chief Justice Brian Sykes in the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston. The witness, in identifying the accused, Tomrick Taylor, otherwise called Fancy Ras, said this individual was the decoy. Fancy Ras was the decoy. I mean, this guy is telling, he's calling everybody name I get called up right now. If y'all were paying attention 2 days ago, Vybz Kartel name got called, implicated, and he said that Vybz Kartel ordered 3 murders, 2 of which were successful. I-Octane, another entertainer name, got called, even though they didn't say I-Octane did anything. They just said they were at the studio where he was at frequently. I-Octane has since come out on social media to clarify, so people understand that he is not a criminal or in criminal activities. This was business concerning music, and music is his profession. Alright. He said that a lot of times when shootings were to take place in Shelter Rock, Blackman would send Fancy Ross to report to the station before the shooting would take place. The witness claimed, adding that Taylor, who was out on bail on a matter, had to report as a condition of his bail. Pressed by the prosecutor leading the evidence to explain, the witness said that Brian would have Taylor report because there was a case against an individual called Troops involving him, Taylor, and he did not want it to be said that he was a part of the shootings when they finally happened. So that means the plan was to go after Troops, but since Troops was already testifying against Taylor, who is Fancy Ross, they would send him to the station to report while they go carry out the shooting. That way, when it came back and they said, well, you had motive to shoot him because he's testifying against you, he would have a tight alibi. The alibi would say, it couldn't be me because it happened while I was at the station reporting to you guys. You can place me at the station, so it's not me. You get it? All right. According to the witness, Brian was sending a hitman to go kill Troops because Troops was testifying against him. He said that the gang was planning to kill Troops to prevent this from happening, prevent the testimony from happening, which is a common thing that happens in Jamaica. We all know by now. Witness don't make it to court. Man who is suspected of murder out on bail but must report. And in the meantime, his case does not go to trial for another couple of years. So he has a whole lot of time to intimidate and get rid of witnesses. Additionally, the witness, who was yesterday asked by the prosecutor which gang members had personal firearms, he named 5 of the accused whom he said had personal weapons. Now, when you listen to this, he, however, said that the weapons, though they were owned by the individuals, they were still considered part of the system, meaning the gang system. Meaning that if Brian, which is Blackman, sent to the owners of the gun, send the gun come, they had to release those guns. He said only one of the accused, or the 5 known as Brains, would defy this order. Means Brains would have said, no, I'm not send my personal thing around there. Everybody else would normally send their guns. Now, I'm wondering, are these legal guns that are cleared by the FLA for these individuals to carry? Or are they talking about street guns but they were owned personally by an individual? So you could be walking around with a gun that had bodies on it, right? Because the boss send come for your gun and you have to send your gun go. You know your gun going to go to work. You know it's going to get hot. And then they'll give it back to you. Now, in the meantime, the witness told the courts that he was the one to point out an individual called Dooley, who was killed by the gang at Price Right, St. Andrew, outside the supermarket where he worked. May I tell you, people, you see that witness here? The witness here is a dangerous witness simply because he is implicating even himself in the story. It is a difference when a person says, yes, SouFLo did it, me see, or me hear. But when the person say, me and SouFLo do it together, me chop him in him head and then SouFLo stab him, so me I accept my guilt, but SouFLo knows that he was involved too. It kind of lends more credibility to the story. Because when people is telling these kind of stories, knowing the consequences of these stories, they don't normally tell on themselves. They will tell about what they saw. They will tell about what they heard. They will tell about what they thought. But they won't implicate themselves to say, I did this. But this witness, he might tell upon himself and everybody else. I don't know what kind of deal them give him, but the deal must be really, really sweet. A lot of people are saying also, SouFLo, this a witness must not have no family and no friends. Because you know what's going to happen after this. Can't catch Quacker, catch him shot. He said that Dooley who was killed after 3 attempts, was marked for death by Brian because he was said to be a member of the rival Tesha Miller faction of the KLANSMAN gang, and was also said to be related to 2 members of that same gang. Can't catch Quacker, catch him shot. On at least 2 of the 3 occasions, the witness... Okay, let me run that back. So, on at least 2 of 3 occasions, the witness said that he had to discourage the triggerman from shooting in the circumstances where innocent bystanders would have been hurt. You hear that? On at least 2 of 3 occasions, the testifying witness who turned state's evidence said that he himself had to discourage the triggerman. Don't shoot, don't shoot, don't do it now. Not now. From shooting in circumstances where innocent bystanders would have been hurt. So the triggerman did not give a damn. The triggerman said the boss said head for fly, and me a fly head out here so. Bat for take off, and me a send bat up in the sky out here so. And he had to say, nah brother, not here so, because see there, you gotta lick down some picnic or some woman out here. So if it wasn't for him, they would have got laid down then. He said that Brian, which is Blackman, was upset about the failure of the gang to take out Dooley on the first attempt. Remember, I know they tried 3 times after Dooley and they were eventually successful. Blackman, he said, was quarreling that you don't call yourself killer and you can't kill one man. He said that on the 3rd attempt, which took place the day after the second one failed. Damn, they really wanted him then, if we are to go off this story. Dooley was killed. He said 2 cars with the gangsters aboard it waited until the targeted man left the supermarket that night and was about to board a taxi. Now, this man work at a supermarket, you know. Don't have no personal car. Him a take taxi, turn up a road looking for a taxi to go home. How can you leave your head back and front so unprotected, living this kind of life, working at a supermarket where you are easily accessible? So them just lay await him as he was getting off work. Supermarket close up, and him a go catch a taxi now to go home at him yard. You understand? Alright. This is when Dooley was killed. 2 cars with the gangsters aboard waited for the targeted man as he left the supermarket that night and was about to board a taxi when Sus pull out a gun and start to shoot him in the head. Sus was exactly back at him. He rests the gun upon him and start firing, the witness said. Whoa. This a man give detail to the detail. The man is not a walk up and he was shooting from 50 feet away. It wasn't a walk by and he was shooting or drive by from a moving car. He's giving details, you know. He walked up, rest the gun upon him and fire it. So this a man you never hear man a come. The kind of life you live in, you should be paranoid all the time. I don't know, something about them story here is not adding up, but forensics will prove. Because if you rest a gun on somebody and fire the gun, then it shows different in forensic than if you were shot from a distance away. Right? So, we are going to see if these forensics corroborate these testimonies. And this is where things get dangerous. Because if forensics starts to corroborate these testimonies, then everything seal up like casket. He further claimed that when he shot Dooley in the head, he fired 2 shots in the air and everybody start run up and down, which was the intent. Scatter the crowd. Nobody no see nothing. The witness's testimony regarding that killing coincided with the testimony of a witness number 2 who had told the court before about the same incident in which he said he was one of the drivers. Remember, it was 2 vehicles, right? So he was one of the drivers. The next witness, this is witness number 1. Witness number 2 said he was one of the drivers and gave the same account for the same story. The witness continued his testimony this morning at 10 a.m. We will keep on digging into this and see what else this witness has to say. People, a star witness this, you know. Listen, to think about the calculation of this. When you shoot a man and you're about to escape, you must pull up calmly. Don't pull up, burn tire, anything. Do it. You would think you would want to shoot and hurry, right? Nope, pull up quietly. People won't suspect anything. It's a regular day. Lay wait him. Walk up on him. Don't drive up, because somebody might notice your vehicle following him. Walk up on him. Get close enough so you don't miss. Shoot him. Bust him head. And when you're done bust him head now, fire a couple more shots in the ear so the people them feel like, who are around, feel like, oh God, me have to duck and run because they might be firing at us too, or we don't know where more shots are coming from. Cause a panic. In that panic, no one will be able to stop and look and say, okay, I see the license plate numbers, or I saw the face of the individual that did it, or whatever, because everybody would be in a panic and everybody would be running away, right? Trying to duck from gunshot. To think of how calculated that is. I don't know. Leave your comments in the comment section and tell me if you think that this witness is a credible witness. More importantly, if you think that this witness is a credible witness, and do you think that, well, if he is a credible witness, it is going to sink a lot of people. But we'll continue to follow this one to see where it ends up. All right. And I'll catch you on the next video shortly. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.